Welcome to part 2 of the video showing how a cedar waxwing is made. This part deals with burning the texture with a wood burning tool. Now that we've done all the carving on the bird, the next step is the feather burning. And I'm going to be using a Detail Master burning tool. This is with a small tip. I've been using this for many years. It's an old unit. I don't think you can even get the Detail Master anymore, but it has worked well for me over the years. Now, what I'm going to be doing up and through the face here, you can't see individual feathers. What you see is like fuzz. So I'm going to be carving straight lines all the way through here. And then when I get to the feathers down on the side here, then I'll be doing each feather individually. So basically right now is what I'm going to be doing is this. This is a really time-consuming process. It takes a long time. And what I've done with this bird, you can see the pencil lines that I put on here to direct me in the direction of the burning that I need to do. Because there are times when, because this takes so long, your mind starts thinking about other things, and all of a sudden you're burning in the wrong direction. So I use the lines on there so that I can realize where I am and how I'm going to be burning. So the first thing I'll do is burn around the bill. Short strokes. Now you can adjust the temperature of this tip. When I burn straight lines like this and I burn faster than I burn a regular feather, I'll usually turn the tip temperature up. Now you got to watch that you don't want to get it too high because then you'll burn too deep. And the idea is to have a nice uniform depth of burning. So all your lines are at the same depth. Now I'll be burning right up to the eye that we put in at the last step. And then after it's all burnt, I'll show you how to put the eyelid in. There's usually a cheek pocket right here where the burning is a little bit at a different angle just for the cheek. Now, another thing that I like to do is to take the whole area that I'm going to be burning like this and then start making my burn strokes so that they all come into the direction that I'd like them to come into. Now I'll go in between each one of these strokes and fill it in. This is one of the most time-consuming parts of the whole carving process, the carving and painting to get the bird finished. But it really makes a difference. Now what I'm trying to do is to find any little flat surface that's still there and cover it with a mark. So there are no flat surfaces left. Now I can start working up in this area here. Another thing I like to do is to take the whole area that I'm going to be working on and put burn marks in the direction that I'm going to be burning. That way, again, if I lose my attention span, I can still follow those lines. Now basically what I'm going to be doing here is fill in everywhere in between these lines. Now it takes probably around 5 hours to burn this whole bird. So we're not going to be burning and showing the whole process. I'm going to show you the stages and we'll let it go with that. Now I'm going to turn the tip temperature up a little bit so I can burn a little bit faster. Okay. I've already finished a lot of the burning on this bird because it's kind of, watching that is almost like watching grass grow. It just takes so long to do it. But I've finished most of the burning on this bird in the time that between videos here, because it takes so long to do it. It's almost like watching grass grow. So I didn't want to burden you with that. But what I'm going to do is I'll be working on the side of here so you can see how I carve the feathers. Now, everything that I've done so far is all straight burning, except for the tail here. You can see the shape of the feathers. But now this is all going to be burned. These are the quills that I'm putting in. I like to put them all in first. And there's one, and there's one, and up in here I have a few. So now I'm going to be starting right here. Now you want to get the angle, proper angle, because the barbs all radiate out from the quill. And the trick here is to keep all your lines parallel and with no space in between. Now that that grouping of feathers is done, what I'm going to come up here and do some straight burning on these coverlets. These are little feathers that you do not see individually. What you see is a lot of fuzz, just like on the back. And what I try to do when I'm bringing this feather and these together, I run the lines into the other feathers a little bit so that I don't get a perfect edge. I want that edge to be a little bit jagged to make it more natural looking. Now we'll go back over, and wherever I see a flat surface, I will burn that with the tool so that all these burn marks will come together. I've done the side feathers in through here. Now what I'm going to do is this little area up in here. And the burning has to be really fine on these because these areas are so small. The one side here that I'm working on, I can only get a half a dozen strokes in there. Now I'm going to be working on the other side of the feather. On the primaries here. There's one. Now I'm going to do all the barbs that go in this direction. And this is the last one. Okay, now the primaries are finished. The next I'll be working on the tail, but I'm going to do that off camera. And after I finish the tail, I'm going to show you how I put the eyelid putty around the eye. So that'll be the next step. Now we're going to do some eye putty here. This is Atlas pool putty. And I used to use Atlas epoxy putty, but they took it off the market. So we can't get it anymore. But I found that the pool putty is exactly the same. It just comes in a larger container. So I want to mix 2 parts, 2 equal parts here. And you have to get it mixed. It comes in, it's 2 different colors, so that when you put it together and mix it, it all blends to one. So that's when you know that it's mixed properly. Now what I'm going to do is roll this putty out into a fine line. Sometimes if the line gets too long, it becomes unmanageable. Now I'm looking for a certain thickness here. Whoops. Okay, now I'm going to take this length here and put it on the eye. And start to tack it right around the edge of the eye. Now I'm going to nip this off here. And nip that off there. Now what I want to do is to taper the putty out into the face. And not distort the roundness of the eye. This tool that I'm using is an old nut pick that I found at an antique shop many years ago. It was a set, and I've been using them for, oh, at least 50 years. Now I want to dip this in water a little bit because that makes it a little bit more easier to spread. Now it's spread where I want it, so next thing I want to do is to create lines just the same size as the burn marks so that the texturing goes right up to the lid. And then when this is painted, you won't even be able to tell that the tapered putty is there because it blends right into the burn marks. Now I want to go out and check, make sure I have the roundness of the eye that I'm looking for. A couple of flat spots there. See, now we have a nice round eyelid.